All right, let's talk about something really important: profit. I'm not just talking about the revenue that hits your account. I mean the actual cash you get to keep at the end of the day. In this explainer, we're going to build out a super practical framework to help you, as a short-term rental host, really maximize your net profit. It's all about being smarter with your numbers and your systems. Sound good? Let's dive in. Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should really get your attention. Check this out. Just a tiny 1% increase in your average daily rate, your ADR, can actually boost your annual profit by a massive 4 to 8%. Now, you might be thinking, how is that even possible? Well, it's pretty simple. Most of your costs, like your mortgage and utilities, are fixed. So nearly every single extra dollar you earn from a small price bump goes straight to your bottom line. It's pure profit. And this right here gets to the absolute core of the problem for so many hosts. You see these huge revenue numbers being thrown around, but here's the hard truth: revenue is not the same as profit. Having high revenue with super high costs just means you're a really busy, probably really stressed host, not necessarily a profitable one. Our whole goal today is to help you make that crucial shift from just being a busy host to becoming a strategic business owner who's laser focused on what actually matters: the money you keep. So here's our game plan, our blueprint for profit. First, we'll get into the right mindset. Then we'll tackle the core stuff: pricing and occupancy. After that, we'll uncover some hidden gains by looking at leaks and upsells. Next up is the engine room: operational efficiency. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your personal profit action plan. Let's get to it. All right, Section 1, the profit maximization mindset. This is all about making that shift from busy host to strategic business owner. And trust me, this is the most important first step. It's all about changing your focus from that big, flashy revenue number to the net profit you actually take home. This really boils down to one critical question: who are you actually optimizing for? When you let the platform's algorithm handle your pricing, its goal is to maximize occupancy across the entire platform. It wants to fill beds, period. But your goal is totally different. You want to maximize your profit for your listing. It's a fundamental difference. You have to be the one in the driver's seat, setting the rules that make sense for your business, not just for the platform's performance. Okay, let's move on to Section 2, the absolute core of it all: pricing and occupancy. This is really the foundation of your profitability. Get this right, and everything else becomes easier. These are without a doubt the two most powerful levers you can pull to directly affect your bottom line. If you're setting just one flat rate for the entire year, I can guarantee you're leaving money on the table. Instead, you need to think about your year in 3 distinct seasons. First, you've got your peak season. That's when you set your highest daily rates and really crank up those weekend multipliers. Then there's the shoulder season, where you use more moderate rates to keep the bookings rolling in. And finally, in the low season, it's all about protecting your downside. You implement rate floors so you don't go too low, and you use incentives to attract those precious off-season bookings. Okay, let's be honest for a second. Have a look at this list of common pricing errors. Do any of these hit a little too close to home? Come on, we've all probably made 1 or 2 of these. Charging the same for a Tuesday night as you do for a long holiday weekend, that's just giving away cash. And blindly trusting those smart pricing tools? They're often smart for the platform, not necessarily for you. They're not optimized for your specific profit goals, which means you're almost certainly settling for less. Now, when we talk about occupancy, it's not just about how many people want to book your place. It's also about making it dead simple for them to actually do it. We call this reducing booking friction. Think about things like having Instant Book turned on, offering self-check-in, or even allowing one-night stays on a random Wednesday to fill calendar gaps that would otherwise be empty. It's all about removing any obstacle that stands between a potential guest and clicking Book Now. All right, Section 3. This is where it gets fun. We're going on a treasure hunt for hidden gains. The big idea here is that you can actually increase your profit without getting a single new booking. I want you to think of your business like a bucket you're trying to fill with water. These profit leaks are the tiny holes in the bottom. Undercharging for cleaning is a big one. You're basically subsidizing your guest's stay, or not tracking those big OTA commissions. If you don't account for them in your pricing, you're starting behind from the get-go. Individually, they seem small, but over the course of a year, these little leaks can add up to a huge amount of lost profit. So now that we've talked about plugging the leaks, let's talk about the fun part, adding new streams of income. This is the other side of the coin. Creating a simple upsell menu is an absolute game changer. These are things guests are often more than happy to pay for, like early check-in or late checkout. It's a win-win. They get more convenience, and you get a high margin, low-effort way to boost your profit on literally every booking. Okay, on to section 4, the engine. I'm talking about your operational efficiency. Think of your operations as the engine that powers your entire business. Every single hour you spend on manual, repetitive tasks is like fuel being wasted. By making that engine leaner, meaner, and more automated, you directly boost your profit because time really is money here. The secret to efficiency isn't working harder. It's building a smarter system. It starts with simple things like checklists. When you standardize your cleaning and turnover, you dramatically reduce mistakes. Then you use automation to assign those tasks so your team is always in sync without you having to manually coordinate everything. The goal is to minimize turnaround time between guests and have quality control built in, creating a framework that practically runs on autopilot. Here are some of the tools that can power that automated system: guest messaging, turnover scheduling, smart locks, noise monitoring. These aren't just shiny gadgets or extra expenses. They're investments. Often, a single tool will pay for itself many times over by preventing one costly mistake, like a double booking, or helping you secure one extra last-minute stay. And that brings us to our final section, where we tie everything together, your profit action plan. We take pricing, occupancy, leak prevention, and efficiency, and put them into a simple, powerful model to help you make much smarter financial decisions. This matrix may look simple, but do not underestimate how powerful it is. It lets you play with the numbers and see how a small $10 tweak to your average rate or a 5% bump in occupancy completely changes your monthly revenue. Mapping out best case, base case, and worst case scenarios gives you clarity and takes the panic out of slow months because you've already planned for them. Think of your profit like an investment portfolio. You don't want all your earnings coming from one source. Sure, base bookings are the biggest slice of the pie, but look at the others: high margin upsells, local partnerships, and all the money you save through better efficiency. It's a diversified and much healthier way to build profit. So what now? Where do you start? Here are your action items. First, run a quick revenue leakage audit on one listing and plug just one leak. Second, update your seasonal and psychological pricing. Third, design one simple upsell. And finally, build out a 12-month revenue projection. And that leaves us with one final question. Don't try to do everything at once. Of all the levers we talked about, pricing, upsells, plugging leaks, what is the very first one you're going to pull to increase your profit this week? Pick one. Start there.